one thing I admire from Cristiano, this is what I admire. His delusion of grandeur is amazing. This is a very, very, very admirable stat. It's an admirable stat, and he should be commended for it. It's amazing. Who the heck is this dude? It started with a tweet. Let's look at this tweet. Let's study this tweet. So Cristiano Ronaldo has now scored 73 international goals after turning 30 years old. More than anyone has ever scored at any age for Germany, France, Italy, England, Spain, Netherlands, Sweden, Croatia, Denmark, Uruguay, Colombia, Chile, Mexico, USA, Egypt, Ghana, and 176 more countries. Stats reported by Will Jeans. So, you see, I want to come at this from two angles. It's very important that I come at this situation here from two different angles, because I think that will be fair here. Because from one angle, this is an important stat. It's an impressive stat, and it is a stat that needs to be commended, because this is an amazing milestone, and this is an absolutely incredible achievement for someone of his age. Dealing with a sport that is pretty much made for young people, for someone to keep himself in this position where he can score 73 international goals after turning 30 years old, a feat that I don't think anybody else will even come close to matching, is superb. But then there's another part of me that says, this is a pointless stat, a pointless tweet, and this is only done for engagement because your boy Muskie pays you for engagement and retweets. So shout out to your boy for getting that money, because a wise man once said, never count another man's pockets. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to start doing that. You see, again, you have to look at this through two ways, because I've realized that I've got to separate my personal self, who I am personally, from situations like this. That's what I think that I've got to do. That maybe I've got to just take myself out of this kind of a situation, because if I come at this in a plain sense, let's remove subjectivity, just come at this from a completely, totally plain sense, then this is a very, very, very admirable stat. It's an admirable stat, and he should be commended for it. It's amazing. It's superb. But the issue we're living in this world is we are so hung up by stats and numbers of anything. Assists, pre-assists, XG, potential this, but that. And it's to the case of where not all stats are the same. Not all numbers matter. Because from my point of view, from where I'm coming from, I come from a school of where these numbers, they don't mean anything. Because all that matters is the World Cups, the UCLs, and everything. Because I said to myself that, what are Maradona's amazing stats? What are Iniesta's amazing stats? What makes them amazing is you watch them play. Like, they were not, their legendary status was never predicated by stats or numbers, because Iniesta didn't score that many goals. How many assists did he get? But he is one of the greatest midfielders of all time. Of all time. We all know who the hell Maradona is, so I don't even know it's going to detail of who Maradona is. Look at the guy behind me, Dino. Please tell me whether Dino reached any amazing milestone of goals, any milestone of stats, any milestone of XG. Please tell me his amazing GA. What was Dino's amazing GA? But he is one of the most revered football players of all time. And in my view, he is the most unique football player that I've ever seen. In terms of just how unique he was, where he set himself apart in terms of the kinds of things he did on the pitch. That's why I feel he is one of the most influential. I mean, it's a discussion for another day. It's a discussion for another day, because this is my hot take. My hot take is Dino is the most influential football player of all time. But that's a hot take. But it's a take from maybe another hangout. But that's just my hot take. But back to Cristiano is, look, I'm in two minds. Because it would be foolish of me and I would be deemed as a hater if I was to completely ignore that amazing statistic. Because say what you want, it's an amazing statistic. 73 Gs after 30, that's an amazing stat. So shout out to him. But my thing is this though. Most of you guys says that half of who the heck is this dude? It was, and I'm sure it's kids, but wait, who the hell is this? That is Ali Dai, Iranian striker. Again, guys, like, and so this was way before Cristiano burst on the scene, way before Cristiano burst school. They used to have a Guinness Book of Records. And when you have the Guinness Book of Records, you just have all the records of everything. And being the sports guy, I always go to the sports section. So, okay, the records for who scored the most points, most Grand Slams, most and everything. And obviously, I'd go to football and say, well, everything. And for a long time, because remember, the Guinness Book of Records comes out every year. And I believe it's every year, and it just gets updated if there are new records. And for a long stretch, Ali Dai was number one of having the most international goals. Nobody cared. Okay. So when Nazario was rolling about, Figo, Pirlo, Dino, Shevchenko, Rui Costa, Maldini, Baggio, Inzaghi, Vieri, Weah, Henry, all these guys. When all these guys were knocking about, we're just focusing on what they could do. Oh, are these guys going to win their league titles? Are they going to win the UCL? Are they going to win the Euros? Are they going to win the AFCON, the Asia Cup, the Copa America, the World Cup? Nobody gave a damn about Ali Dai. Nobody. Nobody gave a damn. Because it was like, okay, cool. That's a nice stat. We commend you the stats. But who gives a damn? Who cares whether you've got all those international goals? No one cares. But we fast forward to this world we're in, and now everything now matters. All these numbers now matter. Now, to be fair, let's be fair here, it's different because of Cristiano's resume. Because it's the international goals, plus it's the 5 UCLs, it's the league titles, it's the Euros, and it's the amazing moments he's had on the biggest stage, which Ali Dai doesn't have. But the stats in a vacuum is useless. As a whole, it's bloody amazing. We just look at when Cristiano retires, his resume in the club game is his resume. Forget the club game, just his resume. If we just look at his resume overall in totality, it's bloody amazing. It's bloody amazing. So he is one of the greats in the game. But context is key, and I'm one of those guys where I will always use context. I know we live in a world that is allergic and despises context, but I think context to me is very key. But I think beyond this though, beyond all of this, there is a more pressing moment here. Now, people may disagree with me, and I think we've had disagreements here. I think, personally for me, that Portugal have one of the best squads out there. 100%. I believe they have one of the best squads out there. And I'm not sure whether a 39-year-old, may I repeat, I don't think a 39-year-old should be starting in a team that have one of the best squads. Now, if this was Greenland, the country of Greenland or the country of Alaska, then Cristiano is starting as a 52-year-old, going on to 53. 100%. But this is Portugal, and this is generally a Portugal's golden generation where these guys they can put out 2 damn good teams. And the issue though is because of Cristiano's name and what he's done, specifically with those 2 Gs against Slovakia, there's now going to be pressure on the beta male known as Martinez to start a 39-year-old. And here's my thing. People say, but it's Cristiano, but it's Cristiano. I don't give a damn. Like, seriously, I honestly don't give a damn. It's all that matters is you put out the best 11. And what we saw of Cristiano at the 2018 World Cup, no, at the Euros, at the Qatar World Cup, this dude should not be a starter. And that's when he was younger. So when he was younger, he was already surplus to requirements in the last two tournaments. Now he's going to go into a Euros at age 39. What makes you think he'll do any better than he did at the World Cup or at the Euros where he was younger? Like, I'm sorry, it makes no sense. He's going to go into this Euros at age 39. And you see, one thing, people may say that I'm a hater of this guy and everything, but one thing I admire from Christian, this is what I admire. His delusion of grandeur is amazing. And his unrivaled belief in himself is superb. I think this is a comment that me and my brother has had. And I think he said this about Cristiano and about Ibra as well, where, no, because my brother is a guy who, he has unrivaled belief in himself. Like, you can't tell him anything. If he believes in something, he says, no, I believe I'm that. And he says that, no, there is a virtue in the unshakable, myopic, tunnel-visioned self-belief that Ibra and Cristiano have. Because Cristiano really believes that, no, I am fit enough to play. I'm in great condition, and I feel as 39 years old, I should be starting. He has not been any mention of, I'm old, I'm getting this. No, he feels he's ready. So you have to respect that mindset. And for me, I respect that crazy mindset of you believe you are that dude. And I think whether you're 45 or 46, you'll still believe he's that dude. So I have to admire that, because for me, that's the delusion. But there is a kind of strange admiration I have for that delusion, because you're mad. You're mad to think that at 39 years old, you should be a starter for the Portuguese national team after those last two tournaments. But the fact that he still believes that, despite naysayers, I commend that. That's amazing. I commend that. Because this may happen. You see, we've been joking about this image. And this is what I've always said. And this is what I believe, because Cristiano Ronaldo is a unique human being. He is genuinely a unique human being. And whether I have my views on himself as a footballer, as a player, and as a person, one thing I have to admire, that this guy is a unique human being. And I am beginning to see why he has such a cult following. Because I've always been focusing on, it's the football, it's the football, it's the football. But I say, no. I'm not beginning to see why people admire him and fall in love with him. I may not agree with him. I do not agree with it. I think it's crazy, but I get it. So you can understand something you don't agree with. You don't have to agree with something that you understand. Or because you understand something doesn't mean that you have to agree with it. I understand it because he has ridiculous belief in himself. And because we live in a world where we are far more closer to these athletes than we were back in the 90s or the early 2000s, it makes sense. If Cristiano Ronaldo does not get a serious injury, he'll never retire. As long as he's able-bodied, Cristiano Ronaldo will never voluntarily retire. He'll either retire due to long-term injury, or teams just refuse to pick him, and he has no team to play for because he's too old. But as long as he's able-bodied, in good physical condition, and he doesn't have a long-term injury, he'll keep playing. He'll keep playing. And his fans will push him to keep on playing, because they're like, no, keep on breaking those rare records. How many guys have scored these goals at age 40, age 43? How many guys have scored a goal at a World Cup or a Euros at age 45, age 46, 47? Let him break Roger Miller's record, because I think Roger Miller was 41 or 42. Roger Miller was in his 40s when he scored in that 6-1 loss and Cameroon against Russia, 94 World Cup, USA 1994. Yo, Cristiano, break that. And I think for him, that is something that pushes him. That's an urge that he has. And you see, For to an extent, I respect that. I respect an individual who is chasing records and who is defying the odds. You have to respect a guy who is staring at the face of biology or what is normal and he is defying it. I've got to respect that. But at the same time, Portugal is more important than any one person. You can never have an individual that's greater than a team or a country. And the interests of Portugal far outweigh whatever Cristiano is chasing. And my thing is, Cristiano as a starter doesn't do a detriment to the Portuguese national team. So Cristiano as a 39-year-old starter, does he do it? You see, for me, coming off the bench, that could be an option. Should he even be in the squad? Because remember, he's not coming from the Saudi Pro League. So he's now moved down in quality because he obviously is not of a level that can still play in Europe. So he's had to move down in quality to the Saudi Pro League. So is he good enough to make the squad? Is he part of the best 28 football players in the whole of Portugal? Because my thing is that if you're being a detriment to the team, because if you really care about Portugal, shouldn't you put Portugal ahead of whatever your individual intentions are of breaking records? Or like, oh, I'm the first player to play in these tournaments, to score in these things. That's all cool, but that's you. So if you now go in there and you somehow get your goal, that's your personal record. But in the process, does that hold back a Portugal that has a Bernardo Silva, that has a Gonçalo Ramos, that has a Leao, that has a Bruno Fernandes, that has a lot of quality individuals? So what I'm saying, bro. So what I'm saying.